I'd hate for that lesson for someone to learn be, a tragic one. And I'd rather have them just be prepared for that incident.
Two people hospitalized from accidents at Sand Hollow State Park, both injured just minutes apart. Samantha Hoffman spoke with DNR law enforcement officers on what is being done to boost safety during this high boating season. So, Sam, what's the very latest on the victims?
Well, a man reached out to us saying he is the brother of the 27-year-old who drowned and said that he is now brain dead. We still don't have an update on the 16-year-old who fell off while tubing since she was transported to the St. George Regional Hospital. Responders say that as crowds grow, they anticipate more accidents, but they could always use more help.
When we pulled into the marina, we saw Life Flight, the ambulances. And over here is where they were working on someone that had drowned.
Even after a man needed CPR and was airlifted off of the dock, the day wasn't over.
It was probably about 5 minutes or so before another boat came in with a girl on the back.
Witness Christy Angus says the park felt dangerous from boats flying and swimmers not wearing life jackets. She said wave runners almost hit her surfers.
When there are that many boats, it is so wavy. The water's going right over your head. Everyone needs to be cautious.
Sergeant Brandon Jensen with the DNR Division of Law Enforcement says keeping up with Sand Hollow crowds typically requires staffing over half their personnel from Washington and Iron County.
Unfortunately, this seems to be a story that we've had to continuously cover. In May, there was the 22-year-old who lost his life drowning. In June, there was someone who was drowning, luckily saved by a bystander. Now we have another drowning. Has anything changed since these incidents, like adding safety measures?
So it's something that we really hone in on in our patrols, but just really trying to get the message out to people. You might be a really great swimmer in a swimming pool, but when you get outside, it's a different story. The wind can change things, waves coming over your face as you're trying to swim.
The DNR recommends swimmers wear a life jacket, check weather conditions before heading out, and tell people where you plan to swim. Angus thinks education is key to both boaters and swimmers.
Even though it looks like a short swim, you're going to get tired. Put on your life jacket and then swim over. It's just better to be safe than sorry.
Both the drowning incident in June and over the weekend had bystanders step in to save the victim. Jensen touched on this being heroic, but warned of its danger.
That was a very heroic thing to jump in and pull them out of the water. But also, we do want people to be aware of the danger with that too. If someone is drowning, sometimes they can go into a panic mode and they can try and resurface, and it can sometimes turn into an even more tragic situation as well. We don't want to create two victims.
You can watch this full interview on the KUTV YouTube page with more tips on swimming and boating. Live in Sand Hollow State Park, Samantha Hoffman, KUTV News.
Think of it like you're in a car. Every time you get in, put that seatbelt on. Every time you get in the water, make sure to put that life jacket on. It can really save your life.
The state says that we average 32 drownings every summer here in Utah. They say all of these drownings are preventable. Most wouldn't happen if swimmers and boaters would have put on a life jacket before getting into the water. If you don't have one, you can stop by one of the life jacket loaner stations located at 23 state parks across Utah. The numbers from the holiday weekend are in, and the Utah DWR says they inspected more than 11,000 boats for aquatic invasive species during the Pioneer Day weekend. They also decontaminated 327 boats. Wildlife officers gave out 33 violations to people who did not properly follow the law. The state is trying to prevent things like quagga mussels from spreading to other lakes and reservoirs. Currently, Lake Powell is the only Utah water body infested with the quagga mussel.